हेलो दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है शाश्वत और आपका स्वागत है हमारा चैनल ऑडियो बुक क्लब पे। सो फ्रेंड्स, आज की इस वीडियो पे मैं आपको रीच दैट पुअर डैड बुक की पहले चैप्टर का ऑडियो जो है प्रोवाइड करूँगा। तो वीडियो को अंत तक देखते रहिए ताकि आपको जो है इसके बारे में पूरा नॉलेज जो है आप गेन कर सके। ओके, सो वीडियो शुरू करने से पहले वीडियो को अभी से ही लाइक और शेयर और ऐसे ही और भी बुक्स के ऑडियो सुनने के लिए चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना बिल्कुल भी मत भूलिएगा। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं आज का वीडियो। ये मैं आज इसका पहला चैप्टर जो कि इनका इंट्रोडक्शन है ये आज पढ़ूंगा और फिर चैप्टर 2 चैप्टर 3 सभी का वीडियो जो है लेसन वाइज आएगा। ओके, सो इस वीडियो को अंत तक देखते रहिए। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं वीडियो। I had two fathers, a rich one and a poor one. One was highly educated and intelligent. He had a PhD and completed 4 years of undergraduate work in less than 2 years. He then went on to Stanford University, the University of Chicago, and Northwestern University to do his advanced studies, all on full financial scholarships. The other father never finished the 8th grade. Both men were successful in their careers, working hard all their lives. Both earned substantial incomes, yet one always struggled financially. The other would become one of the richest men in Hawaii. One died leaving tens of millions of dollars to his family, charity, and his church. The other left bill to be paid. Both men were strong, charismatic, and influential. Both men offered me advice, but they did not advise the same thing. Both men believed strongly in education but did not recommend the same course of study. If I had only one dad, I would have had to accept or reject his advice. Having two dads offered me the choice of contrasting point of view, one of a rich man and one of a poor man. Instead of simply accepting or rejecting one or the other, I found myself thinking more, comparing, and then choosing for myself. The problem was the that the rich man was not rich yet, and the poor man was not yet poor. Both were just starting out on their careers, and both were struggling with money and families, but they had very different points of view about money. For example, one dad would say, the love of money is the root of all evil. The other said, the lack of money is the root of all evil. As a young boy having two strong fathers, both influencing me a difficult, I wanted to be a good son and listen, but the two fathers did not say the same things. The contrast in their point of view, particularly about money, was so extreme. that I grew curious and intrigued. I began to start thinking for long period of time about what each was saying. Much of my private time was spent reflecting, asking my questions such as what does he say that, and then asking the same question of the other that meant it would have been much easier to simply say, yeah, he is right, I agree with that, or to simply rejecting the point of view by saying the old man does not know what he is talking about. Instead, having two dads whom I loved forced me to thinking and ultimately chose a way of thinking of myself for myself as a process choosing for myself turned out to be much more valuable in the long run than simply accepting or rejecting a single point of view. One of the reasons the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and the middle class struggled in debt is that the subject of money is taught at home, not in school. Most of all learn about money from our parents. So, what can poor parents tell their child about money? They simply say, stay in home and study hard. Stay in school and study hard. The child may graduate with excellent grades, but with a poor person's financial programming and mindset. Sadly, money is not taught in schools. Schools focus on scholastic and professional skills, but not on financial skills. This explains how smart bankers, doctors, and accountants who earn excellent grades may struggle financially all of their lives. Our staggering national debt is due in large part of highly educated politicians and government officials making financial decisions with little or no training in the subject of money. Today, I often wondered what will soon happen. What we have millions of people who need financial and medical assistance. They will be dependent upon their families or the government of financial support. What they have, what will happen when Medicare and Social Security run out of money? How will a nation survive if teaching children about money continues to be left to parents, most of whom will be or already are poor? Because I had two influential fathers, I learned from both of them. I had to think about each dad's advice, and in doing so, I gained valuable insight into a power of effect of one's thought on one's life. For example, one dad had a habit of saying, I can afford it." The other dad forbade those words to be used. He insisted. I asked, how can I afford it? One is a a statement and the other is a question. One lets you off the hook and the other forced you to think. My soon to be reach that would explain that my automatically saying the words I can't afford it. Your brain stops working by asking the question, how can I afford it? Your brain is put to work. He did not mean that you say you should buy everything you want. He is financial about exercising your mind. The most powerful computer in the world, he heard say, my brain gets stronger every day because I exercise it. The stronger it gets, the more money I can make. He believed that automatically saying I can't afford it was a sign of mental laziness. Although both dads worked hard, I noticed that one dad had a habit of putting his brain to sleep when it comes to finance, and the other hand a habit of exercising the brain. The long-term result was that the one that grew stronger financially and the other grew weaker. It is not much different from a person who goes to the gym to exercise on a regular basis versus someone who sits on the couch watching television. Proper physical exercise increase you chance chances for health, and proper mental exercise increase your chance for wealth. My two dads have opposing attitudes and that affected the way they thought. One dad thought that the rich should pay more in tax to take care of those less fortunate. The other said taxes punish those who produce and reward those who don't produce. One that recommend study hard so you can find a company for work for. The other recommend study hard so you can find a good company to buy. One that said the reason I am nothing is because I have you kids. The other said the reason I must be rich because I have you kids. One encouraged talking about money and business at the dinner table, while the other forbade the subject of money to be discussed about the meal. One said, when it comes to money, play it safe, don't take risk. The other said, learn to manage risk. One believed our home is our largest investment and our greatest asset. The other believed my house is a liability, and if your house is your largest investment, you are in trouble. Both dads paid their bills on time, yet one paid his bills first time while the other paid his bills last. One dad believed in a company or the government taking care of you and your needs. He was always concerned about pay raises, retirement plans, medicals, benefits, sick leave, vacation days, and other perks. He was impressed with two of his uncles who joined the military and earned a retirement and entitlement package for life after 20 years of active service. He loved the idea of medical benefits and PX privileges the military provided its retirees, and he also loved the tenure system available through the university. The idea of job protection for life and job benefits seemed more important at time than the job. He would often say, I have worked hard for the government and I am entitled to these benefits. The other believed in total financial self-reliance. He spoke out against the entitlement mentality and how I created weak and financial needy people. He was emphatic about being financially competent. One that struggled to save a few dollars and the other created investments. One that taught me how to write an impressive resume so you could find a good job. The other taught me how to write strong business and financial plans so I could create jobs. Being a product of two strong dads allowed me the luxury of observing the effects different thoughts. Having no one's life, I noticed that people really do shape their lives thought their thought through their thought. For example, my poor dad always said, I will never be rich. And the prophecy become reality. My rich dad, on the other hand, always referred himself as rich. He would say things like, I am a rich man, and rich people don't do this. Even when he was flat broke after a major financial setback, he continued to refer to himself as a rich man. The other covered himself by saying there is a difference between being poor and being broke. Broke is temporary, poor is eternal. My poor dad would say, I am not interested in money, or money does not matter. My rich dad always say, money is power. The power of our thoughts may never be measured, appreciated, appreciated, but to become obvious to me as a young boy that I was important to be aware of my thoughts. the other is the and how I expressed myself. I noticed that the poor dad was poor not because of the amount of money he earned, which was significant, but my two fathers. I became acutely aware of being careful about which thoughts I choose to adapt my own. Should I listen to my rich dad or to my poor dad? Although both men had trade tremendous, trem, tremendous respect for education and learning. They disagreed about what they thought was important to learn. One wanted me to study hard, earn a degree, and get a good job to earn money. He wanted me to study to become a professional and attorney of or an accountant and to go to business school of my MBA. The other encouraged me to study to be rich, to understand how money works, and to learn how to have it work for me. I don't work for money, were words he would repeat over and over. Money works for me. At the age of 9, I decided to listen to and learn from my rich dad about money. I doing so. I chose not to listen my poor dad, even thought he was the one with all the college degrees. A lesson from Robert Frost. Robert Frost is my favorite poet. Although I love many of these poems, of his poems, my favorite is the road not taken. I used it lesson almost daily, and that has made all the difference. All over the year, I have often reflected upon Robert Frost's poem, choosing not to listen to my highly educated dad's advice and attitude about money was a painful decision. But it was a decision that shaped the rest of my life. Once I made up my mind about whom to listen to my education about money vegan, my rich dad taught me over a period of 30 years until I was 39 years old. He stopped one he stopped once he realized that I knew I fully understood what he had been trying to drum into my often thick skull. Money is one form of power, but what is more powerful than is financial education. Money comes and goes, but if you have the education about how money works, you gain power over it and can being build wealth. The person positive thinking alone does not work is because almost most people went to school and never learn how money works. So they spend their life working for money. Because I was only 9 years old when I started, the lesson my rich dad taught me were simple. And when it was all said and done, there were only 6 main lessons repeated over 30 years. The people is about those 6 lessons in a simply as possible, just as simply as my rich dad put forth those lessons to me. The lessons are meant not to be answered, but guideposts that will assist you and your children to grow wealth there, no matter what happens in a world of increasing change and uncertainty. सो हे गाइस, आज की इस वीडियो पे इतना ही. सो मिलते हैं आपको एक और नए वीडियो पे चैप्टर 2 के साथ. तो अभी से ही चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए ताकि चैप्टर 2 भी आप मिस ना कर पाए. और बाकी आज की इस वीडियो कैसे लगा कमेंट्स में लिख कर ज़रूर से बताइएगा. ओके, सो और वीडियो को लाइक भी करना बिल्कुल भी मत भूलिएगा. ओके, सो चलिए मिलते हैं आपको इसकी एक और न्यू पार्ट पे. सो चलिए गाइस, आज के इस वीडियो पे इतना ही. तब तक के लिए थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग एंड बाय.